Welcome student, welcome to chemistry for you. Welcome to your favorite chemistry channel. Now in today's topic we are discussing about how we can easily interpret the bond order, bond length and bond strength of different compound in a very easy and short way. Okay, so normally we are calculating the bond order by molecular orbital method, but in this method we are just using some tricks, and by those tricks we can calculate very easily the bond order and the bond length and also the bond strength and also the diamagnetic and the paramagnetic behavior of different compounds. Okay, so let's start. So at first we can find out how to calculate the bond order of different compounds. Okay, so in the type 1, like the example of H2, O2 and N2. So at first we have to draw their original bonding structure. Like in case of H2 there are only one bond, so that's why the bond order becomes 1. And in case of oxygen there will be 2 bonds, so the bond order is going to 2. Now in case of nitrogen there will be 3 bonds, so the bond order will be 3. Clear? So this is the type 1. That means we have to draw the structures of all the compounds and then we can interpret the bond order very easily. Okay. Now the main part is the type 2. The type 2. In case of type 2, we have to just follow some rules. That is, we have to calculate the electron sum of the compound, and from this we can very easily calculate the bond order. Okay. Now in that case we have to remember that only one number, that is 14. If the electron sum is 14, then the bond order will be 3. Okay. Now if the electron sum is 13, then the bond order is getting decreased by 0.5, that is 2.5. Now if the bond order, if the electron sum is 15, then also the bond order will be 2.5. That means by decreasing the number, by decreasing or increasing the electron, that means there are decreasing of 1 electron and there is increasing of 1 electron, so the bond order is getting decreased by 0.5. Okay. Now furthermore decreasing, that means if the electron sum is 12, then the bond order is 2, and if the electron sum, if we increase the electron sum from 14 to 16, then the bond order will be also 2. That means if we decrease the number, if we decrease the electron sum, by plus minus 2, or if we change the electron sum by plus minus 2, the bond order is decreased. Bond order is getting decreased by 1. That is the rule. If we change the electron sum by plus minus 2, the bond order is decreased by 1. That means if it is 12, then it is 2. Now if it is 11, then the bond order will be 1.5. Bond order will be 1.5. Now if the number is here is 17, then the bond order will be 1.5, and if the number will be 18, then the bond order will be 1. And in this case also, if the electron sum is 10, then the bond order will be 1. So by this method we can easily interpret the bond order by we don't have to use the molecular orbitals. Okay, so let's see some example. If nitrogen, so in case of nitrogen there are total 14 electrons, so the 14 electron means the bond order is 3. So in case of nitrogen the bond order is 3. So in case of oxygen, O2, so there are total 16 electrons, so the bond order will be 2. Now in case of O2 minus, so there are total 16 electron and the one negative is coming from there, that is total 17 electrons. So if 17 electrons, the bond order will be 1.5. Now in case of O2 plus, so in that case the bond order will be 2 into 8 and there is a negative minus 1, so the bond order will be 15. So the bond order will be 15, oh sorry, the total electron sum will be 15 and the bond order will be 2.5. So by this method we can easily calculate the bond order, very easily calculate the bond order. Okay, so in case of O22 minus, find the bond order of O22 minus and write in the comment that what is the bond order of O22 minus. Okay, please write in the comment that what is the bond order of O22 minus by this method. Okay, and please write down there is an exception. There is a, what is the exception? The exception is, there is an exception, that is the CO plus. You cannot find the bond order of CO plus by this method. So you have to remember that bond order, that is the exception, there is an exception, that is CO plus, that is 3.5. Okay. Now how can you calculate the magnetic behavior of that different types of compounds? How can you calculate the magnetic behavior? Okay. So how can you calculate the magnetic behavior? There is a simple rule. There is a simple rule to find the magnetic behavior. There is a simple rule to find the magnetic behavior. So what is the rule? If the electron sum, is even, then the compound is diamagnetic. Okay, if the electron sum is even, then the compound is diamagnetic, and if the electron sum is odd, then the compound is paramagnetic. Okay, then the compound is paramagnetic. But there is a two exception also. That is, in case of oxygen, that is 16 and the number of 10. Both of these are even number, but they are paramagnetic. So please remember this exception, that the total electron sum is 16 and 10. In this case we cannot apply this rule, so we have to apply the exception, that is in case of 16 and in case of number 10 the compound will be paramagnetic. Clear? Now how can we find the bond length and bond strength? As we know, the bond length will be the inversely proportional of bond order. So our first funda will be, how can we find the bond order? So we can easily find out the bond order by this method. Okay, so this is the bond length, and how can you find out the bond length? That the bond order is inversely proportional to bond length, and also the bond strength. We can easily find out now the bond strength of any compound, that is proportional to the bond order. So at the time we find out the bond order, we can easily find out the bond length and also the bond strength. So this is a small video that how can you calculate the bond order, the bond strength and the bond length very easily without using any molecular orbitals. So if you like this video, so please comment in the comment section and also subscribe the channel and share this video as much as you can. Okay, তোমাদের যদি প্রত্যেকের এই ভিডিওটি ভালো লেগে থাকে, তোমাদের এই ভিডিওটা যদি ভালো লাগে অবশ্যই শেয়ার করবে। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।